when we open up the doors to you and we let him in. When you're up, let him in. When you're down, let him in. When you're bound, let him in. Let him in.
Facebook, Roku, Apple TV. We air every first and third Sunday of the month. This week's conversation, women. Here are your hosts, Tracy Lithcutt and James Levesque.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, Jay Jizzy.
Here we go, Trey Ocho.
Oh, yes, we are here today with our first, I repeat, our first 2-hour special. And what did we decide to do for our first special?
Listen, we decided to go with some fly young ladies in the building right now.
You know, I had to say to myself when I thought about that word fly, and most of the panelists here, the women, I knew them, and I take it for granted, Jay. I take it for granted because I know them. Elected officials, educators, they're brilliant, they're smart. They are what we call fly. Ladies, you are all in the house today. You are our special guests. Our first guest we have on the panel is Latia LaRock. She's a hip-hop artist and an educator.
Hi, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Kiana Majors, she's a program analyst. Where are you, Kiana?
I'm right here.
You got to come into the mic, Kiana.
Hi,
And yes,
glad to be here.
all right, one of my favorite people, my favorite elected official. She's still here with us. Former State Senator Diane Wilkinson. Say something to him, Senator.
In the house, in the house.
In the
Hey
house,
now.
in the house.
Hey
Yes,
now.
she is. This one here is a very special person to me. I think that we speak to each other. You know, I'm like the mayor at the gym, and I make sure to go over to speak to this young lady all the time. I didn't know Ann Litwin was a Ph.D.
Whoa.
That's right. Author, public speaker on women in the workplace. Sends me a blog almost every day.
Hey, Tracy.
Oh, my
Hello.
goodness. She's here today. Yes, she is. And we also have my girl. Oh, yeah, she's in the fitness clique. They do their own little workout in the morning.
Right.
Her name is Myra Castle. She's a public school educator.
Hello, everyone.
All right. And we also have a good friend of mine that attends the gym, Miss Lynn Holloman. She is an educator as well.
Hi, and I'm excited that you referred to me as a young lady.
All right. And we have a friend, I'm not going to say an old friend, a friend of mine that I've known for a long time. She's back in town. She came here. She came back just to do the show, I think.
What?
Yes,
You like that?
yes, I do too.
That is dedication.
Her name is Ann Luster. She's a fitness specialist educator.
It'd be good if you got her last name right.
I
sir.
mean, Luster. It's Luster, right?
Luster with a U.
What for you? What for you? Oh, I'm in trouble today having all these women on this panel. I thought they were going to be nice to me. All right, there's only one rule, ladies. One rule only. When I ask a question, you cannot ask me, what do I mean? It is whatever this question means to you. And the first person that I think I'm going to pick on is going to be Kiana. Oh, look at her. She trying to, she thought she was going to sit here and say, not say anything. Kiana, your best boyfriend from the past. Who might that be, Kiana? Come into the mic now.
You know, they all been nice-ish. No, they're all nice. You know,
Yeah, but there's got to be one that was special.
I can't recall right now.
Oh, my God. Fellas, you better get on your game. Hey, come on, somebody else. Myra, chime in here for us. Your best boyfriend from the past.
Well, I'm not with this person anymore, but we ended up becoming friends. His name's Jerry. He's a 2-time cancer survivor.
Nice.
And started going to church and became a Christian. When he was with me, he wasn't a Christian, but
Oh, you flipped him. You flipped him.
I did. I left him, and then he flipped, and then we became friends.
All right.
So,
When you
nice
said,
guy.
I'm glad you said that. I thought you were going to say he's a 2-time loser. I was like, oh, man. Here we go. We started
he's
out
not a
strong.
loser.
No, I
He's a
just
nice
thought
guy.
you were going to say that. Okay, how about if we go, I'm looking over here in this direction. I can't stand. What can't you stand?
I can't stand negative energy.
Negative
People that
energy.
just kind of move negative, think negative all the time, and try to bring it into your cipher. I can't stand
Are
that.
those type of
It's
people
too much
like
to be
that?
thankful for.
Yeah,
so.
do you like those people in your realm or what?
I mean, you deal because everybody's their own individual, but that's something that I really
You better
can't
get them
stand.
straight and get them out of the way. I tell you that. Come on now, Ann Lester, what can't you stand? Someone else chime in. Anybody else?
Oh, I was going to say I can't stand tattoos.
Well.
I prefer virgin bodies.
Now, I told her if she said that, I had to ask her, are you a virgin body?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Anybody else? Okay, you know what? I want to ask folks because I know we have a rapper on this panel. I'm just throwing this out to anybody. Rap music. What are your thoughts, and what do you think about rap music here?
Well, I used to think it was kind of nasty because there was had a lot of hate about women in it. But now I think it's changed a lot, and I think it's really interesting.
You like it, huh?
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite rap songs that you like listening
Don't
to?
ask me that.
I remember I used to run around schools telling kids I could rap, and I'd say something back from the 70s they ain't never heard about. Something from one of the old rappers. They thought I had skills. Senator Wilkinson, what do you think about rap music?
Missed opportunity.
Come on.
Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity.
What do you mean?
Because when it started, it meant something. The message was something that people understood, and it had a lot of influence. The reality is, it still does, for all the wrong reasons.
Okay. And we do have a rapper in the house. What do you think about rap music?
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. And she's nice too, Trey. She's a
Please. Did she bring something for us?
Hold on.
Did she bring something for us?
Hold on. Let's see. I think he's trying to say like
we
you know.
talking about rap music and the influence and all of that, and that's what I'm gonna get into real quick.
But I think he's trying to say that you can't spit.
I mean,
Can you drop a little bar?
Hold on,
for
can
me?
I answer the question first?
Women taking over.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Don't you know this topic is women?
My bad.
No, I mean, hip hop is dope. Hip hop is, one of the most, I feel, powerful movements as far as the youth and what's influencing culture right now, currently, period. So, that's my thoughts. Like you said, sometimes it could be influenced towards positive, and sometimes it could be influenced towards negative. There are some artists that's out there right now that's trying to push the culture forward with the message. But then, at the same time, like you said, there's definitely not. But I just think that whenever you have an outlet like that, it can be used for something dope. And I think that, hip hop is always going to be one of the most influential cultures. James, I see you smirking like
Yeah. But before we do that, we're gonna give some information out to people that are listening and watching. We're gonna come back to you, and hopefully you'll have a little freestyle for us. If you're listening and you want to call in, please call in to 617-282-0685 or 617-282-7794. One more number for you, 617-265-2679. Let's get back to you. Can you do some freestyle for us? Any little thing. Come on, just a little something.
We could get back to that.
Oh, we'll get back to it.
I came in discussion mode. Y'all just like.
I thought you was a rapper, had a microphone in front of you in a crowd.
It's showing.
I was
That's
going to
right.
spit something, but it's the women's show, so I won't do it, all right? So ladies, if you had the opportunity to choose another career besides the one you're doing, what would it be?
Be an astronaut.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why would that, Ann?
Nice.
I want to go up in space. I want to see the big picture of the Earth and the solar systems.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
I knew we need to have
that.
I knew.
I would be an astronaut too.
Yeah, I'm going with you, Aaron. We may not pass all the tests, but you just going to take us on the guest pass. Anybody else? Another career if you had to choose.
I'd be the commissioner of the NBA.
Oh.
No, Condoleezza Rice. Why didn't she take that job? Oh, no, she was in NFL.
NFL.
Good. Why the NBA?
Because I love basketball. It's my favorite sport, and I think that the athletes in the NBA are more woke than any other sports franchise.
So it has nothing to do with being around all these fine brothers running around in shorts.
That too. That too.
Just had to be
That too.
sure. Just had to be
That too.
sure. Come on, ladies. Who else? Ann Lester, what do you got? You're sitting back in your chair.
I think I would go closer into business because I see that as a way for people, everybody, to make money. Is to have your own business, to be an entrepreneur. And so I think I would focus more on business. I have my degrees in education and fitness and health, but I think business is a link that I would like to.
Okay. Lynn, did you want to say something?
Oh, I was going to say, I think I'd like to be an actress because I think acting and educating are very similar. You know, when you're an educator, you're in front of the classroom performing. When you're an actress, you're in front on the stage and performing in front of a whole bunch of other people.
There you go. That's where James and I are headed. You know, I'm a writer. He's an actor. But if you all don't know, she acts every day in the gym. She thinks she's a queen of some country. I'm not sure what country it is, but she's always the queen this, the queen that. Talking in the third person. If she thought I wasn't going to mention that, I don't know what she was thinking about coming on this show.
Excuse me, you gave me the name The Queen. I didn't find it to myself. I have just taken it on.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
And currently you have been banished from the kingdom.
Banished, can't go back. So this is something that I've dealt with, and I think that we've talked about on the show quite a bit. That has hit our community, black community in particular, and it has to do with yellow tape, and that's gang violence. What are people's feelings about gang violence in our community? Any lady, please speak up.
I think it's kind of sad that our young people get into this turf thing. Like, this is my neighborhood. You should not, you know. I've seen this happen in Roxbury. This is my neighborhood, so you shouldn't come here. And they don't own not one brick in that building or in that space. But it's about, a lot of times it's about turf and drugs, of course. And I think it's sad that we've gotten to that with our young people.
Anybody else like to comment? I remember my first 4 years of working in gangs. I attended over 100 funerals. But I just want to mention it's in my heart all the time. Think about all the fellas. I can remember the first couple of funerals I attended for individuals. On the 70th, 80th, 90th, it just became like a blur, just doing what I needed to do.
So, it used to be about turf. Actually, it's not about nothing anymore. It's about shoelaces. It's about looks. It's about a lot of people in pain and not knowing how to really deal with that pain. But this is what I think is the most important for us all to know, that police can't fix it. And that every time we have the conversation, we go right to the police. That's supposed to be the last place you stop. That's not the first place. And I think, and it's happening, I think more and more, the conversation is about a comprehensive strategy. Because it's about education, it's about health care, it's about jobs, it's about housing, and it's about hopelessness, and it's about frustration. And so if we deal with it at all, we have to deal with all of those things at the same time. And people want to do one thing. There's no one thing.
That's right.
And so I'm encouraged because I know of some of the things that are happening. But, yeah.
Has anybody here been impacted personally by any type of gang violence?
I said just violence.
You know what?
Not even just a gang, just violence. Yes, everybody.
See, you know, this is the first time I've ever seen a panel say that somebody that they, wasn't close to them was killed by gang violence, and that's good to hear. I thought this was going to be a phase, and it would eventually go away, but it's still there, and it's just carrying on and carrying on. Okay, since we're in a serious mode,
Tracy, I want to say something about that. I wonder if kids, because I'm big on mentoring. I'm big, huge, and I as a kid, I was mentored by a lot of people, and I think that's what helped me get to where I am now. And sometimes I wonder, what if all of us adults who live in the city took a kid under our arm and was that parent figure, that mother or that father that the kid needs? And if we did that, I wonder what would happen to the rate of kids going into gangs, because what they're looking for is to be heard, to be understood, for someone to pay attention to them. I mean, they're posting because they want attention. So, and this is, I hope I don't come across as self-righteous, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But I currently mentor a couple of girls, And I've been doing this now for about, my oldest one is 15. I started with her when she was 6, when I was a first grade teacher. And I just wonder, if we all did that, what would that,
Absolutely.
how will we impact the child?
That's a good point, folks. And everybody that's out there listening and watching, just remember, we all have a responsibility to get engaged in the community one way or another. It's not always about writing a check out to somebody. Sometimes it's just being there, being engaged, and being involved and support the community. Jay, what do we have from around the country?
Yo, Trey, I'm laughing at some of these questions right now. We got my man Darrell from Saginaw, Michigan, and he says, why are women always late?
Woo!
Why?
Were there any women late for this panel today?
I was not.
He's
I was
confused.
here. Actually, I was early.
Yes, you were. It was early. Does anybody want to take a stab at it? We're just going to ignore him because women are never late. Is that what we're saying? Okay, I guess we got to take another one, Jay.
Hey, all right. My man Darrell, sorry, buddy. We have Trish, and she says...
Where's she from?
Atlanta. And she says, Serena Williams, is she a bully or is she a role model? Ooh. This goes to anybody. It's not anybody in particular.
Question. I like that.
Is she a bully or is she a role model? What do you ladies think about that?
I think she's a role model, and I think it's good that she speaks up for herself when the calls she feels are not appropriate. And I'm amazed that she's able to keep the composure that she has when things happen. I don't even understand why somebody would say that she was a bully.
Well, I guess in her position, I remember when her father started her and her sister out in tennis. They would tell the tournaments, you have to put them in 2 separate brackets because they could both end up in the championship. He kind of nurtured them through, so that right there showed the power that they have. She has a lot of power in the sport of tennis. That one incident, I think, is the incident that folks are talking about, and she steamrolled over that official. I think that's what people might be referring to. And what do you think? Was that too much? Was it overrated?
I think it was a little overrated myself.
Yeah. What do you all think?
It was overrated. When you see the men do this all the time, and they're like, oh, he's just being a man. But when Serena does it one time, it's like, oh, she's a bully. No, she's not.
I guess I should have gave the rules. You cannot speak bad about men on this panel. That's the only thing. Too late. I didn't explain it.
Too late.
Jay.
Yo, that's a good question though. All right, let me go here real quick. It says Brandon from Paterson, New Jersey. He says, how come there is a whole aisle in the supermarket? How come there is a whole aisle in the supermarket just for women?
Because we need a lot of stuff.
We might need 2 hours. How about that? We might need 2 hours. How about that?
Oh, Brandon. You hear that, Brandon?
Brandon, what are you doing to us?
Why not?
We do all the work.
That's right.
And for some reason, I always get lost in the aisles. I'm like, what am I doing in this aisle?
There's a whole lot of stuff in them aisles.
Nothing for me in there, Jay. Nothing.
Yo, but the thing is, though, is like, why when women like get in aggressive mode, I feel like they we don't take it real well. You know what I mean? Like, just like with the Serena questions, I feel like she was a little bit aggressive, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what's wrong with Serena now? Is women supposed to just be? I want to know, actually, ladies, have you guys ever taken on like an aggressive role where you had to just be like, yo, that's not what I want, and
that's how you survive.
Yes, it's called speak up. Speak up and say what you mean and mean what you say and
stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
It's too bad too, because when that does happen, women are considered so many other things rather than just strong, decisive, and doing the right thing. Let's hear from our sponsors, Cheryl. Who are our sponsors? And this is our person who can never, this is our woman on the panel that can never get out the whole explanation and say it correctly. Let's see if it will happen today.
Okay, local sponsors are Urbanica Building Design, Eddie Jenkins Law, Callaway Graphics, Sweet Embers Bakery, J. Rockwell Sound Studio, Shun's Kitchen, J&E Construction, Leo Papel and George Kramer, some business owners and entrepreneurs. And we have some anonymous donors. Our national sponsors, Better Belly out of Chicago, Illinois, The Shop, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Apon Concept Productions in Miami, Florida, and our latest Campaign Industries out of Chicago, Illinois.
We always kidding because we was talking about a rap group, the Wu-Tang Clan, one time. The Wu-Tang Gang. Who are you talking about? Let's get back to our topics here. I've sat in many rooms before, and this question drives me crazy because I don't think people are totally honest when they answer it. Are there such things as bad kids? Are there bad kids out there? Be honest, folks. Take a stab at it. Anybody like to go? Excuse the pun.
I don't think they're bad kids. I think that kids don't get enough love, structure, people believing in them, and they act out. But I don't think that they're acting out because they're bad kids.
Okay.
There are kids out there doing some bad things, but you have to look at the environment. Where did it come from? I don't think the kid's bad. It might be the environment and things that they're experiencing. Mm-hmm. The adults they're coming in contact with are not leading them the right way. So the kids aren't bad.
Anyone else? Well,
as an educator, I want to say that sometimes kids aren't getting what they need in school. I can think of a child at my school right now who I'm a special ed teacher who I have to evaluate. And he's getting a full evaluation, and I'm like, why? He doesn't have academic issues, and he's just not getting what he needs. And his big complaint in school is, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a women's panel. I'm going to give my perspective. Yes, there are bad kids. All right, they've been bad since they were born.
Yes.
And everyone in the family's bad. I didn't work with them. I can't stand them. They get on your nerves. No matter what you do for them, that's all they know is bad, and more bad.
Horrible.
And they were bad when they were 5 and 6 and 7. Oh, goodness.
They'll cuss at you and everything.
Oh, hit you, and eat your last chicken wing. Oh, my goodness. If I hit the lottery, what would I do with the money?
I know.
And you know what? It kills me when people get on. The first thing they say, I'm going to give it all to charity. I'm going to give it all. What would you do if you hit the lottery for $100 million, ladies?
$100 million?
$100 million.
I obviously would share some with my family, and anyone that's ever shown me any kindness at all, I would give them some.
You look beautiful today.
Oh, and I love compliments. Yes, that's definitely a way to get all of my money. The school that I'm currently at, I would buy them laptops for every classroom. I would help my family. I would help friends, and I probably would give some to charity. I would go travel around the world. I might buy myself a nicer house.
Okay. Anybody
and
else?
And a new car.
Anybody else? What would you do if you hit the lottery?
Oh.
Come on,
I buy
lady.
property.
I do a lot of
Monopoly.
That's right. That's
property so it can
That's
increase. Right.
That's
Travel.
right. As much land and property as I could buy. Period.
That's it? That's the only dreams that folks have?
Because all the other dreams will realize if you own property.
Yeah, okay. I hear you. What actor or athlete do you personally have a crush on?
Oh.
Ooh, their eyes lit up. We're going to get some answers here. Who might that be?
I don't know his stage name, but I used to have a big crush on Idris Elba, but now I have a big crush on Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, yeah, he's a smooth cat. He's smooth. Anybody else?
Ooh.
No one can think of anybody?
It's been Denzel. It is Denzel. I followed him down the street in New York City, like several blocks. And I thought all the time, what I'm going to say if I actually catch him. But it's Denzel.
That's yours, Denzel.
It's Denzel.
He's still the man.
That's
huh?
right.
He's still the man. Ladies, come on, give us a younger perspective.
I moved on to Denzel's son.
Okay. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
John David Washington.
Yeah, he's a smooth guy. He's definitely smooth. How about you?
No one really.
No one?
No.
Wow. Do you have a boyfriend? He must be listening to you.
I mean, a rapper, Nas is like forever my celebrity crush in my head.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
that's
I
about
saw
it. He's a
Nas,
rapper.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, he acted, so I guess he could fall in line with that.
I saw Nas not too long ago down at Mohegan Sun. He was excellent too.
Oh, okay.
How about, there's another male that I want to ask you about that I'm really concerned. I want to see what you think about. His name is Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. What do folks think of Bill? That used to be my man. What happened to Bill?
No, so yeah, it's a tough one. But the bottom line to me, is Cliff Huxtable. That's what I think about first. But this is also what I think. I see it, and he's not the only one that I know. He is a celebrity that was given an enormous amount of rope, accommodating. One thing that struck me about so many of the women who came forward is that they kept going back. And I separate that. I'm not saying that that means that what was done was okay, but I think you'd be foolish not to look at that. All grown folks, by the way, all adults. And so the fact that that wasn't a part of the overall and major discussion struck me as just different.
Yeah,
it struck me as different.
This is why I'm enjoying this. This is coming from a woman's perspective, and folks may expect a woman to answer in a certain type of way consistently about issues. Somebody else, what do you think about Bill Cosby?
I think he has an opportunity to impact men if he does it, if he chooses to. I think he can find healing and he can get to the root of what happened, and he could possibly impact a lot of men and help them deal with.
I don't think so.
You know, that's all. All of that comes from pain and
the message
wanting control.
The message I get from Bill is, stop putting stuff in women's drinks.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And what do you think, Ann?
I just think that for me, I think probably like a lot of people, I didn't want to believe it. And then when woman after woman after woman after woman came forward with the same story, I felt I have to believe it. And it's serious. I think it's serious. And I think a lot of men, he represents a lot of very powerful men who take advantage of their power and abuse it.
Yeah, see, I guess I just
Bill
didn't see it
loves
like
to
that. I mean, I didn't see it in that way because no one said I didn't know what was going on. To me, abuse of power is when when you take advantage or people don't know. And believe me, I'm gonna say it 1,000 times. That was just messed up. What he did, it's just messed up. But this whole notion of I think about the Harvey Weinsteins and the women who said, they got up and they ran out screaming. Nobody said that about Bill. They waited for the next invitation.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And they fell into a pattern. It's a very sick pattern. Very sick pattern. And I think that there ought to be some consequences and ramifications.
Sure.
So I'm not, but I don't think it's going to be a learning process for him. This is what he decided to do with his life.
Sure.
Not a one-time. This is what he decided to do with his life.
Sure.
And he's paying for it.
That's right.
The challenge that we have is to make sure and to ask the question, why is he the only one?
Yeah.
And that doesn't excuse anything that he did.
Go ahead, Ann. Let's
Yeah, there was one black actress, I think she was an actress or model, who did get away, who fought him and told her story. So when I read her story, I said that would be me, because I don't know what he put in a drink or whatever, but she got away and told her story. And I think a lot of women have to learn how to fight back and be careful of your environment.
That's right. I think coincidentally we did this show when things for women in this point right now is definitely on the rise. Elected offices, it's a good time right now, which I think we're very much so. It's past that time. More women need to be in more leadership positions, making bigger decisions. So this is what I'm going to ask this question: is a woman ready to be president, and who might that be? If you think so. Obviously, we thought it was Hillary. I think we thought that was going to happen. She couldn't make it. My boy Donald. When I say my boy Donald, he's a nut. Now, don't think that I mean my boy. You know what I mean when I say that. He's a very entertaining guy.
Your boy Donald.
That's my boy. He makes me laugh every time I listen to what comes out of his mouth. Is a woman ready to be president?
I don't know about being president. I heard something this week that made me laugh. It talked about women, a woman's place is in the house or in the kitchen. And now the women that are running and trying to take over, they're saying, yeah, our place is in the House of Representatives. So we start there and we work our way to other positions, but we have to, start someplace. I don't know if we're ready for president, but who knows? If
Ladies?
If Trump can
Women
do
are
it.
always ready.
Always.
But the question is whether the country is ready for a woman, not whether a woman is ready to be the president. It's whether the country is ready for a woman president. And that's the thing. I mean, I think that the Hillary experience just means she wasn't the one that they chose. across the country. But if, again, you get into the minutia, she had more votes than the guy. I can't even say
The
his
guy,
name.
the guy,
The guy.
the Trumpster.
I at least call him 45. I call him 45. So, yeah, I mean, of course, women, when you get to that stage in your life, it's because you spent your life getting ready. And now I think there is some reality that we don't talk about a lot, but it's real. Like, men are born ready. And by that I mean they graduate from high school and run for Congress, because the whole orientation of our environment is that they are special, that they're ready. Women spend their life getting ready. So if you think about it, until really the last 10 years, all of the women in politics came after their children grew up.
Sure.
Because nobody told them that. That's just kind of what was understood, and it was what we did. And so it's so unusual to see women now having a baby while they're in office. I think the president of Iceland or New Zealand just had a baby, and she was like international news, the first, sitting leader ever to give. You never think about that as a man, because his wife had a baby while he was in office. Are you ready? No, because the assumption is he's not going to have the primary responsibility for taking care of it, so he can always be ready.
Sure.
My vote would go for Michelle Obama. All right, I'll vote for Michelle. I think she's ready to be president.
I'll take Oprah.
You take Oprah?
I'll take Oprah. If Donald could get in, you don't have to be an elected official anymore. Let's lighten it up a little bit, ladies. We're going into another discussion. Is marriage overrated? Is marriage overrated?
I don't think that marriage is overrated. What I think is that sometimes people think that it's easy. They think the wedding was like the big deal, and then after that it's easy street. I think that people don't realize that a marriage is work. It's very hard work. It's about communication. It's about supporting each other. And I think that little piece of paper says that you're committed to that person.
It's just that easy, huh? We get together every Monday, have a little conversation, go have dinner. We fine. We married.
It's work.
Just that easy.
It's work, and people don't want to acknowledge that it's work. It's every day, and sometimes you go through phases where maybe you don't like your spouse as much because you're human.
That's called divorce.
Well, ultimately that can happen, but because you're human. But I think if you're supporting each other, if you're talking to each other, I think if you understand one another, if there's always a dialogue, I think there's a much better chance of your marriage surviving.
So ladies, is it overrated? I mean, do you have to be married at one time in your life to feel like your life was special, that it was complete? Did you have to be married to do that?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that.
I'm 71 years old, and I got married 2 years ago for the first time.
Oh, God, all right.
Taking that credit.
That was only because my tax accountant made me.
I like that one. See, I knew I had to in on this panel. That's right. Let someone else chime in.
I don't think, it's interesting because especially like on social media, when you see like back and forth between people, one of the things that I'll notice is like women will be like, they'll define single as being miserable, like, oh, she's miserable, she's single, and that type of, you know what I mean? So I think that nobody should seek, like define themselves based on a title, like I'm married, I'm a wife, and that gives you, your value and your worth. Like I think that in general, that's just like a twisted logic. I do think that marriage is important, especially if kids are involved. I think one of the main issues in society, especially when we was talking about like gang violence and stuff like that amongst young men, is the fact that there's no real guidance. There's a lack as far as a man, guiding. And I think that just that in itself, marriage, the structure, and seeing that growing up, I think it will reflect on, the youth mentally as far as how they know how to treat a woman. Hopefully if it's a healthy marriage and what they're seeing in the household is healthy. But I just think that it will reflect positively if there was more marriages, especially amongst our people.
Sure. I'm really enjoying this. When we did the men's perspective, it was the answers were just so vastly different than what we're getting today.
Pray tell, curious.
Yes, they were. They were much different. I just want to remind people today is our 2-hour special. We will have another panel going on the air again at 4 o'clock. But let's stick with this one. I want to ask one more question before we take questions from around the country. If you had an opportunity to hang out with anybody from the past, who would that person be? Even if you weren't alive at that time, who would be the person that you'd like to spend a day with? Sit down and just pick their brain and see what they're talking about.
I think I'd like to be with Jesus.
I was going to say that myself. Yes, and I was going to ask you, can you be the quarterback of the Patriots, Jesus? That's what I want you to do. Quarterback the Patriots.
I just think it would be so cool to hang out with him. I mean, and the awesome thing is that we can.
You want to walk on water, don't you?
I do. I want to do that. I'd want to do all kinds of stuff. I'd want to walk around with him and see him heal people in the streets and like do all kinds of fun stuff with him.
See, we be doing different stuff. We go get some fried chicken, some Chinese food. That's right. Why can't we eat chicken? That's true. We gonna do all the fun stuff. We going to a Patriots game. I'm gonna disguise him. No one's gonna know who he is. Then we gonna go to the club. We gonna
you know what? He could just make tickets up. He could be like, boom, grab tickets. Let's go.
You know what? We gonna hit the lottery that day too. You know, all that stuff when Jesus was there. That's right. Anybody else? Come on, baby.
Fried chicken with Jesus.
Hold on one second. Here we go.
I would say my
Oh,
grandmother.
I miss my Nana too. Goodness.
Who passed away. I just want to know, like, how'd she do it? How'd she take care of the whole family, like, financially and, like, just everything? How did she do it? How did she do it? Like, she's such a strong woman. So if I could just ask her now that I'm adult, like, what did you do? How can I, like, do the same?
Sure. I have those thoughts every day. You know, certain people from my family that I miss. I wish I could have done more with them. But I'm thinking, you know, when I think of this question, who do you think about? Who do you think about?
I'm all chilling, listening to y'all. I guess maybe Bob Marley. I would like to kick it with Bob Marley.
I hear you.
Definitely.
Can we hear the reasons?
Build with him mentally. Just, you know, the messages and the music that I listen to, you know, that from him. I just think in general it'd be dope to just have like a conversation and really pick his brain. I think a lot of the artists, I'll probably say from like the 60s, Curtis Mayfield, like, you know, Nina Simone's, all of that. Like, I would actually, I mean, I know you only said one, but I would like to just kick it with all of them. I just think the energy and the message and just their spirit in general is something that I would love to, you know, be influenced by, in the, you know, if they were physically here.
Before Leah says what she has to say, we're still waiting for you to kick a little something. It's a little freestyle.
You can't, you know.
You know Trey's gonna talk about you. He's like, she don't know how to rap, Jay.
Come on now.
She don't know how to rap, Jay.
Who would you like to?
Oh, she the host now. She the host. Ann, go ahead. Do you have something to say, Ann?
I was with some children last night, and they were calling people. They were doing something like this, calling people from the past, and they were asking, could Martin Luther King come back and talk to them? And so I think I love Martin, but I would like to hear from Malcolm.
Wow.
I'd like for him to meet me on Dale Street and
There you
just
go.
start from there and tell me some stuff about what he sees going on when I.
That's right. Jay, what do we have from around the country, Jay?
We have our man Kyle from Washington D.C. and he wants to know. This is an open question. What do women look for in a man? Anybody? This is an open question. What do women look for?
Temperament. I want to see.
What does that
the
mean?
Spirit.
Temperament.
I want to see the kind of person they are in the world. How do they show up? So I look at energy, spirit, temperament.
That's a good
one. Ann's already. Well, Ann, I could have sworn your answer was tax break. You needed tax break. Did you say that?
Tax papers.
Kindness.
Oh, okay.
Kindness.
Okay. I thought you said your accountant told you to get married for a tax break. Did you say? Okay.
But I was already with the guy.
Okay. I hear you. Anybody else?
I think I would like for him to be loving and supportive.
Sure.
That's a good one. Anybody? Come on, ladies. What's y'all
Yeah. Self-confidence. Yeah. When by that I mean an ability to deal with women stronger than you.
Yes.
When you asked in the beginning about the best relationship, I wanted to answer that.
Go ahead, Ann. Tell us who that man is.
It was a man much younger than I. And
you like him young, huh?
I like men. Age is a number.
There you go.
But the respect that I had in that relationship, it's like I haven't experienced it ever again since then. But someone who really respects women and lets women be who they are. I think he learned it from his parents, and he carried it on into his life. You know, he would let me say what I had to say. Always open to listen.
Okay.
Always open.
Reverend Ward, I think what we're going to do at this segment right now is go into our National Spotlight.
You going into that?
Let's go into the National Spotlight right now and hear from our guests. Jay, who do we have?
Well, Trey Ocho, you know I had to come out with the big boys. We got Mr. Donovan Mitchell Sr., which is the father of NBA player, which was the Rookie of the Year. His name is Donovan. Yeah, you know a little something about basketball.
Live in arena.
Okay, there you go. Senator. Yeah, so it was a pretty good interview, man. He gave us a lot of insightful perspective on himself, his family, and right now he's like a bigwig for the New York Mets. So he's on the spotlight. You ready? Now, this is the section of our show called the National Spotlight. It's where we put the spotlight on brands, entrepreneurs, businesses, musicians, athletes, you name it, we want you on the spotlight. This week on the spotlight, we have Mr. Donovan Mitchell Sr. Now, if the name sounds familiar, his son is the reigning NBA Rookie of the Year, slam dunk champion Donovan Mitchell. Mr. Donovan Mitchell Sr., how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Enjoying everything right now.
Awesome. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us.
No problem.
Now, everybody knows about your son and the incredible things he is doing in the NBA, but we wanted to put the spotlight on his dad. My first question to you is, what sports were you involved in at a young age?
Well, when I was younger, I tried to play a variety of everything. I played soccer, football, basketball, baseball. And during that time, it wasn't like it is now where kids are playing AAU where they can play all year round. For us, it was you played baseball during baseball season, basketball during basketball season, football and soccer during their season. So I had a chance to play everything.
So how'd you get involved in the sport of baseball?
Well, my grandfather was very instrumental in that. He got me falling in love with the game, showing me some pictures, showing me how to play the game a little bit. And I found that, I was pretty good at what I was doing. Really enjoyed what I was doing. And, I just fell in love with the game. I fell in love with the New York Mets. And my grandmother used to watch them all the time. And it was just a joy to play the game.
Did you ever make it to the major leagues?
No, unfortunately for me, I was playing behind some pretty good players. Craig Biggio was the second baseman with the Astros, and I was coming up as the second baseman. So you have a Hall of Famer right there, and then just some things didn't go well with the way I was swinging the bat and the way I was playing, and after a while, it was time to call it a career.
Oh, okay. So when did you make the decision that you were going to hang up the baseball cleats and pursue a career in the front office?
Well, it's weird because once I got released after the spring training of 1999. And then I got a phone call from the Mets, and they asked me to come over. At first, I thought I was coming over as a player, but then I realized they needed a coach. And I came over. I coached in the minor league level, the lowest level at our Gulf Coast in Florida, and I started doing that for a while, and then I coached in the minor leagues and managed in the minor leagues for about 10 years. And then knowing that Donovan and my daughter Jordan were getting a little bit older, I wanted to be around them a little bit more because minor league baseball, you're away for 6 months, you're home for 6 months. So at the time, me and my wife decided that it might be best for me to come home. And I came home and wanted to be around the kids a little bit more and just watch them grow and develop.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this question. Now, with the rich history of baseball and the legacy of the Negro Leagues, why is baseball not a popular sport in the African American community? And does your position now try to encourage black athletes to play the sport of baseball?
Well, I definitely do try to encourage black athletes to play the game. One of the things that I think that you don't really get a chance to see, there's not really many pickup baseball games. Not something where you can do it by yourself. You can shoot hoops by yourself. But when you watch TV and you watch Sports Center and everything else, it's usually the guy dunking over somebody or the guy running through the hole and scoring a touchdown, and that's instant gratification.
Right.
You can go a whole game without a lot of excitement in baseball, and then all of a sudden there's nothing going on, but there's a lot going on.
Absolutely.
And some people who really don't understand the game don't get a chance to really know what's actually being done. So it's tough. So it's hard to get people to gravitate towards baseball.
Absolutely. I definitely hear that, because I think, like, as baseball, I mean, I play basketball a little bit myself, but I was always intrigued by the game of baseball. But let me ask you this question, Mr. Donovan Mitchell. Now, can you describe the feeling, like, what's that feeling like of sitting on the stands and watching your child, your baby boy, play in the NBA? Now, he is not only playing in the NBA, he is dominating. What's that feeling like?
It's a great feeling. Just knowing that he's doing everything that he's wanted to do in his lifestyle, in his lifetime. This is what he grew up wanting since he was a little kid. He wanted to play professional sports, whether it was baseball or basketball. And he's done an excellent job honing his craft and getting himself to where he needs to be. But not only Donovan, it's the same thing with Jordan, my daughter. Just sitting there watching her play and how athletic she is. And a lot of times she takes the back seat to Donovan because he's on TV and getting interviewed. But, she's such a great athlete, and it's awesome to watch both of them competing and doing as well as they're doing.
So your daughter Jordan, what sport does she play?
She plays soccer and she plays lacrosse. I think she's a pretty good soccer player. I would like for her to pursue it, and I hope she does. But she's made me very proud. Both of them, Donovan and Jordan, have made me both proud. And as a parent, they've done well in school. They've done well in life, and you're just happy to see them doing well, and they have the respect of their peers and their family, and it's just an awesome feeling to be around them.
Do you think, what would you like her to be? Would you like her to go professional, or what would you like if you had it your way? What would it be? Like, would you like her to go professional or more into like the business side of?
I'd like for her to at least get an opportunity to play college soccer, and if she gets a chance to play college soccer, that would be great. Just to be able to see her put on a college uniform and go out and play a sport that she seems like she loves.
Okay. Absolutely. Wow, that's an incredible. So you got baseball, basketball, and then now soccer. Wow, that is incredible. You are doing an amazing job in the Mitchell household now. So, Mr. Mitchell, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time, because I know you have a function that you have to attend, but this was really great. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you soon.
Well, I really appreciate you reaching out to me, and it's an honor to be on your show. And thank you for taking some interest. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you, and have an awesome day. And hopefully, we'll be talking about Jordan real soon now.
Yeah, hopefully Jordan and hopefully Donovan has a great year this year.
Absolutely.
Keep smiling over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have an awesome one. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Jay, that was a hitter, man. That was a hitter. Donovan Mitchell's father, he's in the NBA. It's something you told me. Now, Donovan Mitchell, the kid, when he was a kid, he used to go watch all these pro baseball players. Now all those pro baseball players are retired, and they're watching him in the NBA.
That's crazy how things work.
Crazy.
Yo, so listen up, right? When it was the little break, I was over here working on Miss Latia LaRock to kick something for us real quick. Latia.
All right, so I'll spit a verse that's reflective to one of the things that we talked about, which is the gang violence, streets, and everything going
Straight
on.
off the top.
All right, and this is like a throwback.
Ooh.
All right, the heat's up before the pressure's on. Same block, same turf, we lurk where most heat be drawn. So search, yes, we are trying to defeat the odds of the war that defeats us all. Behind bars or beneath the salt, some feel it's either or, but I feel it even more. For the seeds that bear the scars, no park, no swing, summer starts without daddy aboard. Remain calm and spoken, keep hoping, but hope departs. Plead peace, we seat but can't see, leading through the dark. The pattern, the cycle, the setups, the traps. Screws loose, call me Noided, I guess I'll settle with that. More or less, but less we get, and it's left at that. Yes, there's aggression, need a reason, see my reason is that. Cause when there's no funds, hit the curb, no job, so we serve. Gotta cheap, got that work, gotta eat, that's my word. Gotta see, close to birth, same speech goes unheard. Every block, same hustle, who the cause you observe.
Oh yeah, bars. We asked for the bars. We got the flow.
I told you, Trey. I told you.
My time now. It's my time. I'm gonna do my thing, but I think I'll wait a little while. I don't want to get embarrassed.
Bars.
Couple of more questions, ladies, because we only have a few minutes. That was slamming, sister. That was on the money. I enjoyed that. I love everything about rap, all aspects of it. Ladies, what do you like about women? What do you women like about women?
Oh.
I was going to say, I feel like women understand women. I feel like there's kind of like an unspoken language with women. You know, you can go someplace and there's always something you can talk about, something that they identify with, or some experience that you've had, like the example that I'll use. And this is dating myself. But menopause, like when you talk to other women about menopause, they understand some of the things that you're going through or the feelings that you have about it.
Only half the panel acknowledge your menopause thing. The other ones are like, what is that? What is it? What is she talking about? Ladies, what do you like about women?
From seeing and growing up around so many single moms, I just think the strength in itself, just like women, there's no excuses, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, and I don't want to bash men whatsoever, but like from my peers, some of my peers that'll tell me like why they haven't seen, like there's just always a list of excuses. With us, it doesn't matter, we just get it done, like period, you know what I mean? And I just think that strength is something that's just really powerful. So that's one of the many things that I love about women.
Women were everything in my life, but the most fascinating thing that I say about women is just how does another human body grow in your body? That's a gift from God. It's just fascinating to me how that happens, how you go through, how the time period is, how your bodies adjust. Ladies, thank you. One last question, and we're going to give you a chance to say what you'd like to say. Your greatest contribution to society is?
My daughter.
Oh,
nice. A president one day, not the next president, but a president. I don't know. I think she's so amazing. She's 9 years old and she's so smart. So I think that's my greatest asset.
Make sure you have a look on the internet so she knows what menopause is. All right, she needs to know what that is because it's coming someday. Cause I don't think the two of you all know. You kind of little. What is that? Anyone else?
I think I've been mentoring for a lot of years, and I look back on the young ladies that I mentored, and they are now like 50 years old and doing well. So in other words, you're the greatest contribution to society. There you go. I like that. Ladies, it was wonderful having you on here. Like I said, most of you I know, and I know how fascinating you all are. That's why I wanted to have you on it. And got me. I knew she was who I thought she was. She is just don't fly. I'm glad Ann's here. Ladies, give me 30 seconds. Say whatever you like on the mic.
Shout out to the Transformative Culture Project, the program coordinator for the Creative Classrooms program over there. So I just want to shout them out. Shout out to all the schools that I teach at. I teach a Art of Hip Hop class at Community Academy, Fenway, Timothy, and the list goes on. So I just want to shout out all my youths, to keep pushing and, just pretty much keep pushing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Latia LaRock. She was on the show. When she gets that album out here, don't you forget, we promoted her. And don't forget, you got to come back and say a few words for us out there. Senator Wilkerson, what would you like to say?
I think I want to start the celebration for Tuesday, November 6th.
Yes.
And once again, solidify Massachusetts' place in the history that's about to be made with women across the country, black women in particular. And what happened in September in the city was a surprise to many, but not to us. With the ascendancy of Ayanna Pressley, Rachel Rollins, Liz Miranda, Nika, Ulagato, it just some things, exciting things are going to happen. And then the last point I make is that I got the brothers. Come on, we need you. Like, we got to do this together. Can't see this as a them instead of us. It's us. It's us.
In other
It's
words,
us.
what she's saying, because I'm getting angry. Black men, get your I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I stopped short.
Yeah.
Get it together. That's what
Right.
she's saying. Can we hear now from Kiana Majors?
I just want to say, get out and vote.
All right. One of my favorites, she's here in the house. Dr. Ann, what do you have for us?
We just got to keep trying to find love for each other.
All right. I like that. I like that. Myra, what do you have for us, honey?
I just want to say that I want to give a shout out to my school, the Rafael Hernandez School, and all my kids there. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You lucky she comes to the gym, kids, because she gets angry in that gym. So she leaves all that aggression there, and it's nice to see you all, because I've seen her get angry. All right, Ann Lester, good to have you back in town, Ann. What do you have for us?
Thank you. Shout out to Reggie Lewis Center, which is where I am now working. They brought me back. I've been gone 7 years, and they called. I was on my way back to North Carolina, and they called and said, we need you. Stay in Boston. So I'm working with a senior program at Reggie Lewis Center, and happy to be back in Boston.
We're glad to have you back. Here she is, the most outspoken woman on this panel. The Queen, I'm not sure which country, but the Queen, Lynn Holloman. You are up, Your Majesty.
I told you that's a name that you gave me. I have not assumed that name. I want to thank you for having me on the show. It was a little different than I thought it was going to be. I was really kind of nervous about it, but it was actually kind of fun. I would come back.
Thank you. Most people, when they talk about our show, they get worried about what they're going to say. I want to lose my job. I mean, what we try to do here is we try to talk about things that people want to talk about, but don't necessarily feel comfortable talking about it. How do we move and groove or get anything better going on in this city if we don't do it? People, stay tuned. We are coming on. We are coming on for another hour. Please stay tuned because we have another fabulous group of women panelists going to tell you how it is. Jay, what do you got to say for us?
Hey, man, I really enjoyed this show, having these fabulous, young, healthy, beautiful ladies on the panel. And we coming up again, right?
Coming up, baby. We coming up.
Let's go. Thank you, folks.